This is an introduction. It will give you insights as to what happens in the next video. As you look right now, you're looking at my desktop. And on my desktop, there's a monitor down low. You can see it right down there, the little red check mark. Okay. Now, if I mouse over that and click it, you'll see it comes up. It's called a web check. And it's got a bunch of smiley faces going down, a bunch of names on it that tell me what servers or what, and if I can access them from my computer right now or over any point in time over the last 5 minutes in most cases, in some cases in every 2 minutes. So this little program checks those servers, checks the websites based upon the domain name URL or the IP address URL. And pertaining to the one that we're speaking of in this video, it's the IP address, which you'll see right here. That's actually to one of the IP addresses at this particular web host. Okay. So what happens is I can be doing my work and suddenly this little guy will pop up, and instead of all these being a smiley face, there'll actually be one that has a red face on it, big red X on it, telling me, hey, there's a problem. And so I immediately then notice which one it is, and in this case it's the Ripple web server, which has been an ongoing issue over the past say 10 months or so, or not 10 months, 1 year and 10 months. And so what I immediately do is, or did in that video, is I had Internet Explorer already opened, and I already had a quick link up here that I could just click on. Okay, and it goes right here, which is to that very same server. Okay, so and the other one I had was to another quick link, and this is from Firefox. It says trace right there, which goes and traces out that server as well. Okay, and if we look at this right now, let's see how the timing's going. You can see the milliseconds in which it's connecting at. Doesn't seem to be any issues going on there. It seems like everything just flowed right through. That's from getnet.com, which is actually in Texas. So that'll help you to understand what you see in the next portion, which is it happening live, where I'm not talking and I'm just doing in order to see and show how the problem happened, or what I see on my side every time it has happened. And this has been an ongoing thing daily for like almost 2 years. It happened 2 to 3 times a day. It's something my web host has tried to deny and decline and say we've looked and everything's fine and nothing's wrong, but day after day it continued to happen. And in fact, I also had every week soft DNS bounces from emails I was trying to send out that wouldn't go out because apparently there was a network problem. There's some 5,000 of these every week that bounced, or didn't even have the chance to bounce. They just stayed on the server because there was no outgoing connection, because the network was having an issue. So, you know, people like to say and pretend and cover face and say that nothing's wrong, or not look, or whatever the case might be, when evidently there is something wrong, and there has been something wrong for some time. Okay, as I had stated earlier, the reason I stayed with this server was due to email reputation. It's hard to build up email reputation with all the different internet providers and work things out with them. And so I stayed with them for this host for some time. It just got to a point where I just couldn't deal with it anymore, and it was costing me far too much. At $179 a month, you know, you can find something for half the cost almost easily that will be just as good as, if not better than, this particular server I was on, which is a dual Xeon 3.0. Okay. And I was on it for many years, and it was a good server up until this point. Okay. So I'll give them that. But once there comes a problem, nobody seems to want to deal with that. Okay, so here is my logs of the trace routes I did, some of the trace routes I did, starting from the first one that I actually made note of in the original complaint. After it had happened a few times, I said, okay, well, I need to bring this up to my host. So you can see that I have it logged here as Las Vegas Cox. I'm on Cox, and that was in Las Vegas. And the original complaint was October 27, 2011. As we look at the trace route, I mean, it's obvious that there's only one area here that could be in question, and that's number 10, right there. Okay, just before it gets to my server, right there it says 222 milliseconds. Okay, so I mean, where else would it be, right? I don't know. So next, move this up. I'd actually moved my internet providers, and it was funny because the web host said, well, maybe it's Cox's problem, right? Okay, so here we are in Las Vegas again, but now we're using CenturyLink, and it's December 27, 2011. Okay, and this one, we go down here, and you can see right there, hop 9, hop 10, hop 12. So who is that? There's a Cogent Co, right? And another Cogent Co. And then this one, this last one at 12, is a Cogent Co as well. Huh. It's not Cox, it's Cogent Co, which is the network provider. So there we are from CenturyLink in Las Vegas. Then I moved, and I went to Washington, off the coast in a place called Ocean Shores, where I had internet access with Coast Access. This is on March 12th, 2012, where I was having the very same problem. You know, I just decided to, okay, go ahead and log it in. And here we go. Okay, look at there. 8 and 9. I can't access my computer. I mean, I can't access the server. So I'm doing this trace route because I can't access the server. Right? And this is how it comes up. Well, look at 8 and 9. Cogent Co again, both of them. Alright. Now I have a note here on this notepad, where I have one in my browser, and you can see this was from April 2nd of 2012. That's what that's dictating. And I'm trying to go to my site again because I'm having problems accessing my website. Well, here we go. We have two areas that are very different from the rest, and they're both Cogent Co's along the you know, they're the hops along the network on the way to the server. Okay. Well, what happened there? Well, it says Internet Explorer cannot display the web page. Well, why is that? Okay. I wonder. So, back to the notepad now. This one is from April 12th, 2012. And again, you can look at all the hops you want. There's only one that stands out when I have a problem accessing my web. It's down here most of the time, and there it is, Cogentco again. Okay. Alright, so here we go. Move down some. And after a short time I decided to check it again. After it came back, actually, it was working fine. This is to show how it's working when it was working fine after it was down. Okay, so April 11th again. Look at these. It's working fine, and there's no big numbers going on there. Yet I've been told, well, it's normal when there's, you know, it takes 203 milliseconds to access your server. Really? It didn't look too normal in that last one. So here I am again from Washington again, from April 28th. Okay. Having another problem. Where is it? Hop 10, looks like to me. Cogentco again. Okay. Nowhere else is there any problem. Again, this is from Washington State. Alright, it's not Cox. It's not CenturyLink. It's Coast Access. So, completely different place. So now we have some trace routes from different points along the web. This is 3 of them from May 21st. See right there, May 21st, and Unix VRT-SVA something coaxium.com. Okay, and this trace route from coaxium.com, you can see the spot here. Hopefully I can get it. There we go. See that? 177. Hop 13 looks like there. From coaxium.com. Now all the other ones are fine. Alright? So, this is from steadfast.net that we're looking at now. Steadfast.net. And from there, I'm going to just go over here and go down and look. There's 3 lines of over 100 there. And the first one, 171.504 milliseconds. Okay, 3 lines. All 3 of them Cogentco. Alright. Now that was from Steadfast. Same time, same bat channel. Here we go. From GetNet. Alright. From GetNet. And GetNet shows right there. Here we go. 169 and then a 148 and another 148. 3 in a row. Oh, imagine that. Cogentco again. Along the network, the hops getting to my server. Now, that's not just from my computer. That's from the locations of these domains to my server. Alright, so that's just a few of the trace routes I did while I was having a problem. Okay, and you know, the whole problem, simple, is that I can't access my server from my own computer, and nobody wants to hear it while I'm paying $179 a month. This is what it says. Cannot display the web page. There must be a reason for that. Okay, so here we are back at webhostingtalk.com. Alright, back to the initial post that caught my eye because it says $99 a month. Really, dual Exion servers, $99 a month. Well, nobody offered me nothing, right? And what business is going to? When they're collecting $179 from you, chances are they got you locked in and they're going to go, why should we tell him? Why should we say anything to him? You know, I mean, they're going to just take that money to the bank, right? Alright, so it speaks to character a little bit, but whatever. So here we go down to where I've actually made a note about my complaint, my problem, and where they actually responded, and they cherry-picked a trace route out of one of them. Here's a sample trace route that we've received, and in the sample trace route, it's got a couple little hoppities down here in 9 that have an issue, but you can see from the ones I've sent that there's some more going on. When there's 3 different hops having problems, you know, as they say here, there's always one hop that takes a long time, but the next hop and every hop after that is very short. Really? No, that's not true. As in the very same trace routes I supplied them, what they wrote here is not true. Okay? You've just seen them previously, and from 3 different places on the web. It's just not right. So, and then it says here, has been reporting this to us for almost 2 years, and we don't know what to tell him, and we have never had a discussion about the rate that he is paying. Well, why would you want to have a discussion about that when you're taking it to the bank and collecting it, right? Alright, so I had a response back to them at that point in time. In their own terms of service, okay, it says, a change in price applies to the services yet to be deployed and will not be applied to the existing customers and their existing services. So it's in their own terms of service that they're not going to do it. So the question is, why did he even write that to begin with? Interesting concept. Well, okay, so beyond that now, there's the issue of the cost. Sure, $179 a month I've been paying for a server that's flaky at best, that has ongoing issues that they can't seem to resolve or don't want to see and resolve, just want to cover their eyes and pretend it doesn't exist. All the while, from their own website, it says 100% uptime. Really? 100% uptime? You know, in the video before where I showed you my problem, it didn't look like 100% uptime to me. So anyway, this ongoing issues, 2 to 3 times a day. Yes, they're short, they're intermittent, and I can understand they'd be hard to track down. But you know, do you try to track them down, or you just quit and you say, no, I can only spend 5 minutes on this, I don't want to find it. You know, you supply a service, it's your responsibility. $179, and here they are advertising it for basically the same server. It's close to it. It's the dual 2.8, dual Xeon 2.8 for $99 a month. Okay. Well, you can find something else somewhere else, comparable price to that, better server, and less headache. Okay, so here's the deal. I sent them an email and I said, look, to do the right thing, I'd like you to pay me back $80 a month for every month that this issue was occurring. Okay, so that would bring it to what? It would bring it to $99 a month. And I've not heard back from them since. Well, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer, right? But it does say something. It says, I don't want to talk about it. They don't want to deal with it. Okay? They just want to let me go, get rid of me, and hold on to the money they've already collected. They don't want to give anything back now, especially now that they know I'm leaving. I'm gone. Okay? So here's the deal. Right now, as I'm telling you this my sites are on a different server. Okay? They're on a different server, and there's no problems. My problems have been resolved by moving off of their server and onto a different server at a different network. These things are no longer occurring. I'm no longer getting these intermittent outages. I'm much closer to 100% uptime, and I'm no longer getting any of the DNS bounces from email that I was previously getting with their server. Well, what does that say? I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. It says, hello, Ripple Web, you got a problem with your server's network. And, okay, you don't want to deal with it. It's up to you. But you shouldn't be going along charging people, you know, rates like this and pretending that it's not there all along. You know, if they had made good on the problem with the opportunity I gave them to do so, then I would have said so, and made a note of that, as I had told them on webhostingtalk.com. But they didn't want to. They don't want to make good on it. This is a money thing, you know. It's all about money in this world. Of course, this world's going to end at some time for all of us, and it won't be about money anymore. And though we think we get away with things, there's always a big eye in the sky watching.